8 hours of rest, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of recreation was the demand that would unite workers in a fierce struggle against the bosses. On May 1st, 1886, more than 350,000 workers from nearly 12,000 workplaces joined the strike for a reduction of working hours in a day. Pickets multiplied across several cities, and Chicago became the epicenter of a workers' revolt. Capitalists responded with fierce repression. On May 3rd, workers protested at the McCormick Harvesting Machine Company, where hundreds of workers had been fired in an effort to halt the organizing taking place there. During the demonstration, police fired on the crowd and 6 workers were killed and many others injured. The next day, a peaceful rally was held at Haymarket Square to protest the violence at the McCormick factory. Socialists and anarchists gave powerful speeches to thousands of workers. But as the rally came to a close and the crowd began to disperse, the police attacked again. In the midst of the repression, a bomb exploded. A police officer was killed and dozens were wounded. Police fired into the crowd, killing and wounding hundreds of workers. Many workers were arrested in connection with the Haymarket bombing, even some who didn't even attend the rally. There were raids on homes and attacks on supporters and the leftist press. In the end, 8 anarchist militants were falsely accused of instigating the acts of violence. Nothing could be proven, but the ruling class was determined to teach the workers a lesson. An unfair trial with a biased judge and a jury full of police supporters was hastily carried out, and the 8 accused were found guilty. On November 11, 1887, 4 of the accused, Spies, Engel, Fisher, and Parsons, were executed by the state. In Paris in 1889, the Second International decided to commemorate the workers' struggle for an 8-hour workday. May 1st was established as an International Workers' Day in honor of the martyrs of Chicago. George Engel, one of the anarchists executed in 1887, articulated this spirit in his last public statement before his execution.
The working man can free himself from the tyranny of capitalism only through force, just as all advances of which history speaks have been brought about through force alone. We see from the history of this country, the first colonists won their liberty only through force, but through force slavery was abolished, and just as a man who agitated against slavery in this country had to ascend the gallows, so also must we. Of what does my crime consist? That I've labored to bring about a system of society by which it is impossible for one to hoard millions through the improvements in machinery, while the great masses sink to degradation and misery. As water and air are free to all, so should the inventions of scientific men be applied for the benefit of all. The statute laws we have are in opposition to the laws of nature, in that they rob the great masses of their rights to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I hate and combat not the individual capitalist, but the system that gives him those privileges. My greatest wish is that the workers may recognize who are their friends and who are their enemies. And as to my conviction, brought about as it was through capitalist influence, I've not one word to say.